Hello?
Hello.
Hey, bitch.
Hey, witch.
I love that.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I feel like we should do that more. Be like, hey, witches.
Yeah, we should.
Okay. Hey, witches.
Sup, witches?
This is Wine and Divination, Witchy and whining about it. I am Christy.
And I'm Devin.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about sigils, witches.
Woo, sigils.
Woo,
I'm actually really excited about this. This is, I think, something we've been kind of planning since, what was it, like our first episode or the second episode? Like we were talking about, oh, we should do an episode about sigils. Because you don't know that much about sigils. But I have very, very small workings with sigils. And there was one, you know, I learned about sigils from the Pop Magick Grant Morrison article, which I feel like a lot of other people did. And I was told about that article by a classmate of ours who practices a lot of ceremonial magic, I think. And so I didn't know, that was my only kind of view on it. And then for this episode, bought a book and it showed a very different way to do sigil making, which I thought was very interesting. Mm-hmm. And you also got a book, right?
Yes.
About sigils.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I got a book about sigils and it's called, oh my God. Sigil Magick. 5 Steps to Create Sigils to Manifest Your Goals.
Oh, who's it by? I don't think I know this one. I love that we got very different sources here. So these are 3 sources, very different, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how yours is, but my 2 are very different. They may or may not be different. Oh my gosh, I feel like,
see who wrote this.
Oh, maybe go all the way up. Is there like a cover? Oh, is it Carrie Woodfield?
Perhaps it's Carrie Woodfield.
Okay, so Devin has Sigil Magick, 5 Steps to Manifest Your Goals, right? Mm-hmm. And then I have I feel like this is like the OG, like everybody's gateway into making sigils. It's the Pop Magick article by Grant Morrison in Book of Lies, The Disinformation Guide to Magic and the Occult, which is edited by Richard Metzger and prefaced by Grant Morrison. So I guess this is not an article, it's a preface by Grant Morrison, or maybe it is an article.
Yeah. Carrie Woodfield is the author. Okay.
Carrie Woodfield is the author of Devin's book. Mm-hmm. And then my other book that I bought, it is called Sigil Witchery, A Witch's Guide to Crafting Magic Symbols by Laura Tempest Zakroff. So great. 3 very different, or may or not, maybe some of them are the same. I don't know. But 3 totally non-coordinated looks into how to create sigils. And keep listening because we are going to create a sigil for Wine and Divination.
Yes, we are.
For you guys.
Yeah.
For all of us.
For all of us.
That we can use. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but we're kind of doing this on the fly. We're going to see how we feel. But let's learn a little bit about making sigils.
Should I go through my steps and then I'll see if you can speak to them? Like I'll say step 1 and then maybe we'll see if that resonates with you.
I kind of want to do like either like a summary and or excerpts from the 3 sources we have and then compare and contrast them.
Okay.
So you could go first. Because I have no idea about yours, so I'm kind of excited.
I just have a 5-step process.
Let's get into it.
My 5-step process is step 1. Decide on the type of sigil you would like to create. So, whether that be a temporary sigil, a semi-permanent sigil, or a permanent sigil, you should decide which one you would like to create. So, permanent ones can be more like a tattoo.
Wait, hold on. I feel like, sorry to interrupt. I feel like we should back up. What the fuck is a sigil?
Exactly.
Okay, so
what the fuck is a sigil?
Okay, I have this. I got this. Because I was like, wait a second, we should start with, because some people might not know. Like I feel like
I barely know.
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners do not know what a lot of things are, like us, and that's why they listen. And so we're here to all learn together. So what's a sigil? So a sigil is spelled S-I-G-I-L and it's pronounced sigil, not like sigil or anything like that. And a sigil derives, so going from the meaning of the word, so it derives from the Middle English word, I don't know how to pronounce this, but sigil, it's like Sigulle.
Sigil.
It's a Middle English word. And it comes from Latin sigillum. I'm making that up. I don't know how to do Latin.
Sounds right to me.
But it means seal. Another consideration is that it may be related to the Hebrew segula. I don't know. Sorry to everyone who speaks Hebrew. I don't. Segula, meaning a talisman or a word or action of a spiritual nature.
Okay.
So definitely something a little magical here, for sure. It's either a seal, some kind of symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some kind of symbol. For sure. So a sigil is a carved, drawn, or painted symbol that is believed to have magical properties. Magic is the art of focusing one's will or intent in order to bring about change. So sigil magic is creating specific symbols to influence a person, situation, or environment.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's another form of manifestation.
Okay.
Where you want to make something happen, basically. So, okay, sorry. Let's continue. So your book, you said step 1 is about what type of sigil you want to make, either permanent or temporary.
Yeah. So a temporary sigil can be something that's drawn on your skin that can be washed off. It can be iced on a cake that is eaten.
Oh.
It can be on a paper that is burnt. Ooh, drawn on a bay leaf and then burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Semi-permanent can be drawn on a piece of paper and carried with you for a few days. It can be something on your phone. Semi-permanent marker. Yeah. Or it could be permanent, which is like jewelry that you always wear, or a tattoo that you have, or it says the bottom of your left shoe, or the front of a phone case, or a journal, or carried with you in your purse.
Okay.
So you have to decide if you want a temporary, a semi-permanent, or permanent. And permanent sigils tend to be more for lifelong goals, like, for example, success or wealth and good fortune, where semi-permanent is kept after the activation process, but is destroyed a brief time later. The purpose is that you can perform magic over a matter of days or weeks to energize a sigil for maximum results. And temporary sigils are the results you want, which cause the energy to come back to you.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes sense. If say you wanted to find a new job, that's not something you want to tattoo on yourself, right? Like,
exactly.
Okay. I mean, so far that's aligning with what my research is.
Cool. Next step 2, making magic. The first step in the process is to develop a statement of intent. So we have to come up with a statement of intent. Mm-hmm. So a statement word or sentence. It should include I will, I intend, I become, or I want. Never use the words can't, won't, cannot, will not. 1 or 2 words for sigil ideas are balance, belief, beauty, change, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clarity, things like this. Good fortune, good luck, gratitude, happiness, harmony, health, intuition, things like that. Does that track?
Yeah.
And then, okay, step 3 in my book is the creative part of a process. It's generating the sigil.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to be perfect. Some methods are writing out your statement of intent in capital letters. Ooh, crossing out the vowels, crossing out the duplicate consonant letters, writing out the remaining letters. Use the letters to create a design. So, for example, if you have a statement of intent that says, I am successful, you would cross out the vowels, repeating letters, and you're left with MSCFL.
Yep.
Interesting. So really, it could be whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then after you make your design, step 4 is incorporating your energy into the sigil via your thoughts, feelings, and physical creation. And then finally, step 5 is ultimately forgetting about the sigil.
Yep.
That's what it says.
What's interesting is that your book very much aligns with my article about pop magic from Grant Morrison. And I feel like this is the chaos magic way of doing sigils. And I think it was most popularized by this method, which is, I think, neither by the author of your book or Grant Morrison. This is by someone else who popularized it. Shall I go into my article?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read from the Pop Magic article by Grant Morrison, which I feel like this is everyone's gateway in. And it very much aligns with what you have read in your 5 steps to making a sigil. Very similar steps. Basically the same, but he is, you know, Grant Morrison is a really amazing comic book writer. And so he's got a very certain flair to him. And I'm just going to read. Okay. In the pop magic style, the sigil, and he puts Sigil as the pronunciation, is the first and one of the most effective of all the weapons in the arsenal of any modern magician. The sigil technique was reconceptualized and modernized by Austin Osman Spare, or AOS, in the early 20th century and popularized by chaos magicians and the Temple of Psychic Youth in the 1980s. He writes that out.
1980s.
Yeah, he's very funny. I mean, this
Osman Spare's method. That's what I have in my book too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's by that one. And I'm glad that I got this other book because it shows a very different way and a little bit more intuitive and creative way of doing it. So let's see how we think of it when we get to it. But a sigil is a magically charged symbol like this one, and so he shows an example of a sigil, and you can see it. And maybe we can I'll post a picture of this page on our Instagram, Divination on Instagram. The sigil takes a magical desire or intent. Let's say an example: it is my desire to be a great actor. Or you can, of course, put any desire you want in there. And it folds it down, creating a highly charged symbol. The desire is often forgotten. Only the symbol remains and can then be charged to full potency when the magician chooses. Forgetting the desire in its verbal form can be difficult if you started too ambitiously. There's no point charging a sigil to win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. Start with stuff that's not too emotionally involving. So it's like something that is reasonable, that makes sense. Not like something like, oh, I'm going to get like $500 million or something like that by winning the lottery. And then like you don't, like he says, you don't buy a ticket. And then you're like, oh, why didn't I get this money? So he writes, I usually sigilize to meet people I'm interested in or for particular qualities I'll need in a given situation. I've also used sigils for healing, for locating lost objects, and for mass global change. I've been using them for 20 years and they always work.
Okay.
For me, the period between launching the sigil and its manifestation as a real world event is usually 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months, depending on the variables involved. I repeat, sigils always work. So, begin your desire's transformation into pure throbbing symbol in the following fashion. First, remove the vowels and the repeating letters to leave a string of consonants. So like yours, his example is like, it is my desire to be a great actor. He has TSMYDRBGC. Now start squashing the string down, throwing out or combining lines and playing with the letters until only an appropriately witchy looking glyph is left. When you're satisfied it's done, you may wind up with something like this. And so he shows, it almost looks like a little alien dude with like 3 bits of
little stick figure with hair on top.
Yeah, and like a little like round body kind of thing, or like shoulders. It's like a head with shoulders and 3 hairs. It says, most homemade sigils look like a little spooky or alien-like, UFO writing or witchy wall scratchings. There are no rules as to how your sigil should look as long as it works for you. Results only are important at this stage. If something doesn't work, try something else. The point is not to believe in magic. The point is to do it and see how it works. This is not religion, and blind faith plays no part. Which is what I kind of love about this whole chaos magic vibe, where it's like you're just doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like the whole rules of manifesting. It's like it's not that you will do something. It's like you are, and you you are something now,
Mhm.
like, and that's what you're hoping to achieve, and you say it in a present tense.
Yeah.
So it's very much along that lines. Okay, he says charging and launching your sigil is the fun part. It's often advisable to make up a bunch of sigils and charge them up later when you've forgotten what they originally represented. Now, most of us find it difficult at first to maintain the precise Zen-like concentration necessary to work large-scale magic. This concentration can be learned with time and effort, but in the meantime, sigils make it easy to sidestep years of training and achieve instant success. To charge your sigil, you must concentrate on its shape and hold that form in your mind as you evacuate all other thoughts. Almost impossible, you might say, but the human body has various mechanisms for inducing brief no-mind states. Fasting, spinning, intense exhaustion, fear, sex, the fight or flight response all will do the trick. I have charged sigils while bungee jumping, lying dying in a hospital bed, experiencing a total solar eclipse, and dancing to techno. All of these methods prove to be highly effective, but the eager beginner, nothing beats the wank technique.
Wank it.
Yes. It says, come non-magicians, I've noticed, convulse with nervous laughter when I mention the word masturbation. And no wonder. Next to wetting the bed or shitting in your own cat's box for a laugh, it's the one thing no one likes to admit to. Be that as it may, magical masturbation is actually more fun and equally more serious than the secular hand shandy. That's so funny. And all it requires is this. At the moment of orgasm, you must see the image of your chosen sigil blazing before the eyes in your mind and project it outwards into the ethereal media spheres and logoverses? I don't know what that is. Where desires swarm and condense into flesh. The sigil can be written on paper, on your hand, on your chest, or the forehead of a lover, or wherever you think it's most effective. At the white-hot instant of orgasm, consciousness blinks. Into this blink, this abyssal crack in perception, a sigil can be launched. Masturbation is only one of the countless methods you can use to bring your mental chatter to a standstill for the split second it takes to charge and launch a sigil. I suggest masturbation because I'm kind-hearted, because it's convenient, and because it's fun for most of us. However, one does not change the universe simply by masturbating. In parentheses, tell that to the millions of sperm fighting for their lives and the future of the species in a balled up Kleenex.
LOL. Ew.
I know. If that were true, every vague fantasy we had in our heads at the moment of orgasm would come true within months. Intent is what makes the difference here. Forget the wanking for just one moment if you can, and remember that the sigil is the important part of the magic being performed here. The moment of orgasm will clear your mind, that's all. There are numerous other ways to clear your mind, and you can use any of them. Dancing or spinning to exhaustion is very effective. Meditation is effective but takes years to learn properly. Fear and shock are very good for charging sigils, so you could probably watch a scary movie and launch your sigil at the bit where the hero's head comes bouncing down the aluminum stepladder into the girlfriend's lap. A run around the block clutching a sigil might be enough to charge it. Why not experiment? Try launching your sigil while performing a bungee jump from a bridge, perhaps, or sit naked in your local graveyard at night, or dance until you fall over. The important part is to find your own best method for stopping that inner chat just long enough to launch a fiercely visualized, flaming ultraviolet sigil into the gap. States of exhaustion following any intense arousal or deprivation are ideal. Maybe if you stay up like all night.
Yeah.
And you're like, literally, your like head is empty and you're about to fall asleep. Think of your sigil.
Okay.
That's what he says. Okay. And if you experiment and still have trouble with sigils, try some of the other beginner exercises for a while. He talks about other like different exercises to kind of like tap into this witchy space, basically. Okay. He says, I've met a couple of people who've told me that they can't make sigils work. So maybe there are a few of you out there who genuinely have problems in this particular area. Tough luck, but it doesn't mean there's no magic for you to play with. I couldn't wheeze Twinkle Twinkle Little Star out of a clarinet, but I can play the guitar well enough to have written hundreds of fabulous songs. If I'd stuck with the clarinet and got nowhere, would that mean there is no such thing as music? Or would it indicate simply that I have an aptitude for playing the guitar, which I can't seem to replicate using a clarinet? If I want to make music, I use the instrument I'm most comfortable and accomplished with. The same is true about magical practice. Don't get uptight about it. This is not about defending a belief system. This is about producing results. Use only what works. He has a section called Sigils Disposal. Some people keep their sigils. Some dispose of them in an element appropriate to the magician's intent. I have burned, buried, flushed away, and scattered sigils to the winds, depending on how I felt about them. Love sigils went to water, flushed down the toilet, or thrown into rivers, or boiled in kettles. War sigils were burned, etc. Some of my sigils are still around because I decided they were slow burners and worth keeping. Some are even still in print. Do what feels right and produces results. Soiled paper and tissues can easily be disposed of in your mom's purse or the pocket of dad's raincoat. Viral sigils. So now this is kind of interesting. The viral sigil, also known as the brand or logo, is not of recent development. See, quote unquote, Christianity, quote unquote, the Nazis, and any flag of any nation, but has become an inescapable global phenomenon in recent years. It's easy to see the Nazi movement as the last gasp of imperial age thinking. These visionary savages still thought world domination meant tramping over the enemy and seizing his real estate. If only they'd had the foresight to see that global domination has nothing to do with turf and everything to do with media, they would have anticipated corporate stealth violence methods and combined them with their undoubted design sense. The rejected artist who engineered the Third Reich might have created the 20th century's first global superband and spared the lives of many potential consumers. The McDonald's Golden Arches, the Nike Swoosh, and the Virgin Autograph are all corporate viral sigils. Corporate sigils are super breeders. They attack unbranded imaginative space. They invade Red Square. They infest the cranky streets of Tibet. They etch themselves into hairstyles. They breed across clothing, turning people into advertising hoardings. They are very powerful development in history of sigil magic, which dates back to the first bison drawn on the first cave wall. The logo or brand, like any sigil, is a condensation. It is a condensation, a compressed symbolic summing up of the world of desire which the corporation intends to represent. The logo is the only visible sign of the corporate intelligence seething behind it. Walt Disney died long ago, but his sigil, that familiar cartoonish signature, persists, carrying its own vast weight of meanings, associations, nostalgia, and significance. People are born and growing up to become Disney executives, mouthing the jargon and the credo of a living corporate entity. Walt Disney, the man, is long dead and frozen, or so folk myth would have it. But Disney, the immense, invisible corporate egregore, persists. And an egregore is kind of like, it's like a thing that exists out of like the combination of people's energy. So like some people think that like places are haunted because people are basically feeding that energy into that place. Yeah. Instead of it like actually be haunted. Like some people were saying that could be a thing. Back to the article. Corporate entities are worth studying and can teach the observant magician much about what we really mean when we use the word magic. They and other ghosts like them rule our world of the early 21st century. He has a little... Okay, I'm almost done here. So he says experiment. It's like a textbook. Think hard about why the Coca-Cola spirit is stronger than the Dr. Pepper spirit. What great complex of ideas, longings, and deficiencies has the Coke logo succeeded in condensing into 2 words, 2 colors, taking taking Orwell's 1984 concept of newspeak to its logical conclusion. Watch the habits of the world's great corporate predators like Fox, Microsoft, or AOL Time Warner. Track their movements over time. Observe their feeding habits and methods of predation. Monitor their repeated behaviors and note how they react to change and novelty. Learn how to imitate them. Steal their successful strategies and use them as your own. Form your own limited company or corporation. It's fairly easy to do with some paperwork and a small amount of money. Create your own brand, your own logo, and see how quickly you can make it spread and interact with other corporate entities. Build your own god and set it loose.
Okay.
Our last kind of thing is about hypersigils. So, hypersigils. The hypersigil or supersigil develops the sigil concept beyond the static image and incorporates elements such as characterization, drama, and plot. The hypersigil is a sigil extended through the fourth dimension. My own comic book series, The Invisibles, was a 6-year-long sigil in the form of an occult adventure story, which consumed and recreated my life during the period of its composition and execution. The hypersigil is an immensely powerful and sometimes dangerous method for actually altering reality in accordance with intent. Results can be remarkable and shocking. It just sounds like he manifested like the life he wanted through a comic book. It seems like. The last thing he says, it's another experiment. After becoming familiar with the traditional sigil method, see if you can create your own hypersigil. The hypersigil can take the form of a poem, a story, a song, a dance, or any other extended artistic activity you wish to try. This is a newly developed technology, so the parameters remain to be explored. It is important to become utterly absorbed in the hypersigil as it unfolds. This requires a high degree of absorption and concentration, which can lead to obsession, but so what? You can always banish at the end, like most works of art. The hypersigil is a dynamic miniature model of the magician's universe, a hologram, microcosm, or voodoo doll, quote unquote, which can be manipulated in real time to produce changes in the macrocosmic environment of quote unquote real life. So that's what he has to talk about sigils. He goes on to like talk about a whole bunch of other things. It's definitely a really cool article that I think anybody should check out. Again, it's Pop Magic by Grant Morrison. If you just Google that, it'll come up on Google and like you can download it. That's what I did and I printed it out. But that very much aligns with the 5 steps that you have, where it's like you take a sentence and then you kind of like remove the vowels, you remove repeat letters, and then you kind of like arrange them to be like some kind of weird little glyph symbol. What did you think of that little excerpt of that article? Because you've never read this.
I want to try to make a sigil.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to say that that's my favorite method of doing a sigil, because it's just really easy and you can make a bunch, and like all you need is like pen and paper and you don't need to think too much about it. The last book we have, which is Sigil Witchery by Laura Tempest Zakroff, is totally different than the 2 other methods we talked about. So I think this is a pretty cool book because it talks about kind of like symbols and mark making through history, and that it's always been something magical about it. And so just to summarize kind of what she says, she has like a 4-step method, basically. I'll just read the different steps. So it says, step by step, how to plan and create your sigil. Step 1, define your goal or identify the problem. So this is kind of similar in all the steps. It's like there's something that you want. Step 2, brainstorm a list of what's needed to accomplish that goal or solve the problem. Step 3, design the sigil. And step 4, apply the sigil and acknowledge it as necessary. So her whole method is that you take this kind of goal. So it's like, she says, consider what it is you want to accomplish. It's vital to be realistic about the goal and to take time to consider the possible outcomes, consequences, and ramifications. She says that I have always told my students, magic takes the path of least resistance. There are many a myth in world folklore that involves poorly thought out wishes and the problems they cause. Being responsible means acknowledging that witchcraft is more about having power over yourself and your environment than over others. So her examples of like a good goal or versus a bad idea is like a good goal is like to be in a romantic relationship that is healthy and happy. But then the bad idea is like, oh, I want to make Pat fall in love with me.
I see.
And she explains that as like the former allows for options and a better outcome. What if Pat turns out to be a total jerk? Then you're stuck with getting rid of Pat.
Right.
Another example is a good goal is being financially secure, stable, and successful with an income of at least $42,000 a year. A bad version of that is getting a job or a raise at my job. So the former focuses on a larger cycle and a specific goal, while the latter may not provide you with the money that you need for financial stability or provide the environment you need or want. Maybe what you need is a different job. So she kind of teaches about like how to make a good statement versus a bad statement. The step 2 is about brainstorming a list of what is needed to accomplish the goal or solve the problem. So for example, like say my goal is bring justice and healing for my friend Donna safely and quickly. So then my keywords could be like justice, healing, Donna, safely, quickly. And so what I'm going to do is in the next step, which is designing the sigil, I like look at my list of words and then I kind of think like, what shapes, marks, or symbols do I connect with each of these words?
I see.
So for her example, like justice could be like scales, like the scales of justice. Healing is like a heart or like a spiral energy. Donna, like it says she's a Cancer, so she could use that symbol for her, or a D for her name. Safely is like maybe a plus sign or upward crescent. Quickly is like an arrow energy, like all directions. And so then when she puts this together, she comes up with this Donna sigil, which we're kind of looking at, where it's like it's vaguely like scale-like. There's arrows pointing outward in all directions. There's a heart. There's like the Cancer symbol. And then the next step is, applying the sigil and acknowledging it as necessary. So once you've designed the sigil, it's time to do something with it. This is something where you can put it on. It kind of depends on what it is. If it's something like maybe more long term, maybe you want to put it on like you said, like the back of your phone case where you're going to carry with you. The whole thing about it is like there's one school of thought with the chaos magicians where it's like the whole thing about forgetting it is that you have kind of like sent it out into the universe, so you don't want to hyper fixate on it, and it's just kind of like out there, and you've let it like do its thing out there without you like focusing too much on it. But then in this book, it's like, oh, even if you put it on your own objects, and even if you had like, I don't know, a picture of it on your desk, like you can achieve the same effect because you see it. It's like something that you see every day kind of gets camouflaged.
Okay.
And so then it's like, while you are constantly thinking about it in your peripheral, you're not like super hyper focused on it, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of like a weird thing. She says that there is a particular school of thought that strongly recommends destroying the sigil after you've created it. The reasoning is that in order for the sigil to work, you must forget it, thereby letting the sigil slide back into your subconscious or unconscious mind. That process dictates that the sigil will not work if you're hyper-focused on its success. Even if the sigil is often within your field of vision, on your, like I said, on your desk, tattooed on your arm or on your mirror, it falls into the subliminal range of observation, meaning your eyes often look at it without you actually being aware you're seeing it and consciously thinking about it. So that can be very effective. And so she kind of goes on to talk about like different supplies and materials in which you can put it. Like you can use fabric paint and put it on your like bags, or like you can cross stitch a patch and like put it on your jacket, or like etch it in jewelry, or with like chalk on your doorstep where it's like kind of invisible and it can be non-permanent. So this book goes through a lot of that. She doesn't call out the pop magic method overtly, but she does talk about it. Because that's kind of the prevailing method. I think that we found like your book and then my article. But this method that she actually came up with this method herself. Like she has a background as an artist, and this is like her own intuitive way to make sigils.
Okay.
And I think it's kind of nice. It's like, oh, like you're not, it's not just words that are like letters that are jumbled up. Like it, like things have meaning to it. So I feel like that's a little more organic, a little more like intuitive, and that's kind of nice. Yeah. And I like that it kind of combines her background in art and like makes it more about mark making and little symbols and like what do they mean to you, and that makes it, because like all a sigil is really, it's like a secret symbol that means something to someone and it's trying to do something, but you only know what that is.
Do you want to create one of her sigils with her method, with using the symbols, and then I'll create one with the letters?
Well, I think, okay, let's put this is what I think we should do. I think we should put our heads together for one sigil.
Okay.
And we can decide which method we want to try.
Okay. I want to try the vowel one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. I mean, that's my favorite one.
Okay.
We can maybe we do that, and then maybe we can even try the other one. I think we should do it together because it's for the pod.
Okay.
Right? So, okay, we've got paper. We've got pen. What do we wish upon? Maybe let's do should we do like a general one that's just like,
I was thinking something like, we have listeners.
But that's for us. That's not for our followers.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah. Wait, are we making it for our followers?
I mean, I thought if we were going to share that, because then we don't want everyone else to know about it, right?
Oh, I didn't know. I thought we were going to make one for us.
I thought we were making one so that everyone could use it.
Oh, I don't. I was going to say, I don't care about that. I'm just kidding. No, we can do that for sure.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it. Sure, we can do one for general health, wealth, and happiness.
Maybe we can just privately do one for we have followers.
Okay.
Because then I wouldn't want to put that out. The whole thing is that like people don't know what your symbols mean. You know?
Okay.
Like I have ones, but like I'm never going to tell people what they mean.
I see.
You know what I mean? But then if somebody knows your symbol, what if they do something with it?
So then should we say...
What if somebody's trying to sabotage us from having followers?
Oh. Should we say we are healthy?
Yeah, I think like health, wealth, and success, right?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, do you want to... Since you haven't done it before, you should do it.
Okay.
Maybe we are healthy, wealthy, and successful.
Healthy, wealthy. How do you spell success?
It's two C's and two S's.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to take out the vowels.
Mm-hmm.
We. E.
She's out here crossing out all the vowels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then any duplicate,
like, do they have to be next to each other?
No, it's like there will only be one S, even if there's three S's.
Oh, so then I have to cross out this L.
So actually, let me show you how I usually do it. So Devin has written it out and then she's crossing off the vowels, but I make another line where I just write the consonants.
Oh.
So like, you put we are healthy, wealthy, and successful. So then I would just say WRHLTHY WLTHY NDSCCSSFL. So then I would say, okay, W's, then I would probably cross out like any other W's. R. So then WR, I'm going to look at the other
LT
R's. Then there's H, and I would just cross off all the other H's. And then L, then I would cross out the other L, so there's only one. And then T, cross out the other T's. Then Y, okay, then there's another Y. N, yeah, there's no other N's. D.
Where's there an N?
S, and?
Oh, I didn't write the word and.
That's fine. That's okay. S, and then C, and then F. So then we should have WRHLTYNDSCF. I mean, you're probably missing an N and D, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just cross that out too. So WRHLTYSCF. So we're going to take that and make a sigil out of it. So like I like to sometimes imagine, I just kind of like to get creative with it. You know, it doesn't have to be exact or anything like that. He said it's going to look like witchy or alien like. So sometimes I like to stack the letters on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like say if you write all the letters on top of each other on the same spot. So it's like WRH, like, and then it'll start to like kind of look a certain way. Or I like to like start with a base. It's like maybe I start with this L and then I put like a T on it. So it's kind of like a weird box thing. And then I put like a Y. And then like I add the W but upside down or something like that. You know, or I like put lines like the F is like backwards. And you don't have to incorporate every single thing in it. It's just like the intention of it, you know?
Mm.
I like to keep mine simple because I'm like, I gotta remember it so I can write it on something. Actually, I just like this.
Mine just looks like a bunch of letters.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like mine, like.
That one's cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I've done it a few times. So then I'm like, oh, I know what's going to be like weird or whatever. You know, like it's like anytime you have like, or like even a C could be a good starting place because it's kind of circular.
That was mine.
Okay, cool. I'm going to take a picture of these so you guys can see it. This is the two we came up with from the same exact phrase. We are healthy, wealthy, successful. So yours is a lot more straightforward.
Yeah.
And then mine is a little more like this might be a secret sigil or something like that. Like, but you can see my process. It's like it looked like, you know, that's an F and that's a Y and like there's a T and
here's
L
my Y
and
and here's my Y and my F and my R.
Yours is very much there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, take a look on our Instagram, wine.divination, to check out our two sigils that are the same meaning, about, you know, we are healthy, wealthy, and successful. And you can see they're very different.
They're very different.
Just like us.
Yeah, just like us.
Yeah.
Just like the February and January Aquarius.
Yeah. Yeah. yours looks like a logo, honestly. Like some kind of like a lawyer logo or something.
Yeah, but I don't know for what. Yeah.
An architecture firm.
Something secret. It ain't no double arches, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Look at our when I was creating the Wine and Divination logo, I was kind of thinking like, oh, this is a sigil. Mm-hmm. Like, and I put intentions in it to like, you know, I'm just gonna say it like to help people for success on our part. You know, I like put that into it while I was like putting it together.
Cool.
So I'm like, oh, this is a sigil. Because I had read, you know, Pop Magic and he talks about like viral sigils. I'm like, this is a viral sigil.
Yeah.
I'm doing it now.
Make us viral, guys.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is the tradition. I'm going to just call it traditional method of doing it. Shall we do one with the same thing? We are healthy, wealthy, and successful, or do we want to choose something different? I mean, it might be interesting to do the same.
Yeah, let's do the same thing
because then I feel like we're gonna come up with something way different and way more like artsy.
Okay,
if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna use the same page. So okay, we are healthy, wealthy, successful is our is what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're going to list out a few different qualities to make that happen, I guess. So,
I already started with my sigil.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you had, I'm just going to explain the things if you know what to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like healthy. So health, I think of like a, I don't know. I think of like a circle, and I think of like arrow up. Those are symbols that I think of. Wealthy. I think of $. I think of I think of smiley face. This says a bit about me. Successful. I think of smiley face. That's a symbol. A heart. I think it'd be, I think of successful as like being like full. So I don't know. Maybe a triangle, because it's like that's like I believe that a triangle is like the strongest shape, because it's like supported and then like point at the top. It's like 3. 3 is a great number. So, are you already done?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you have? I haven't even done mine.
Okay, I have 3 little circles because I got circles
I know,
too.
That's
That's why I was
that's
like,
so
oh my
funny.
God. I made little circles because I'm like, that's us.
Yeah.
That's the we.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 of us that represents everybody, us, and we're healthy. They're on top of a heart. And I think of wealth as being like a cup full. So
I like that. I didn't even think of that.
A cup, like cupping the people, the circles. And then, so we know it's a cup. There's water coming out of it. It's water coming out.
Oh.
And then, so we're healthy with the heart. We're wealthy because there's lots of us. And we're in the cup. And we're successful. This is all the money's trickling
Oh my gosh,
down.
like that's, you know what this looks like?
Huh.
This looks like
A jellyfish.
Okay, it kind of does. But my immediate thought was, because there's a cup, I was like, oh, the wine and divination symbol.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I thought of a martini with 3 olives. And a heart.
Ooh, that's wealthy with olives.
And then there's like a crazy base to this cup.
Yeah, that's the money trickling down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, mine is so funny. It's just
love
a
it.
circle with, it's like a little Shrek dude. It's like a circle with a smiley face, and then it has like little $ ears, like Shrek ears, but then there's also like arrow. The line is like an arrow, and then there's just 3 hearts at the bottom.
Cute.
That very different.
Yeah, we should take a picture of these
Very like not even.
I like
just,
that one.
Just between like, not even just between us, but like between the 2 methods.
too.
Like obviously, Sigil Witchery from Laura Tempest Zakroff is like, it is a lot more of an intuitive way to do it. It's a little less. I mean, maybe because we're not thinking so outside the box, but we're like, oh, these are the symbols we associate with, health, wealth, and success.
Yeah.
It's just like circles, smiley faces, like hearts. Like streamers and things like that. But check out our Instagram to see what we've created. They're honestly really great. I'm glad that we did this.
I like mine.
I like mine too. It's so funny. It's
Yeah.
just like a little dude.
Cute.
Yeah, you can compare. You could really see the difference between our like chaos magic version versus our like whatever intuitive artsy version.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even if you look at her like right on the book, it shows like it's a lot more of a artistic sigil rather than like a runic, stick like shapes, simple sigil like we've kind of made with our letters. Oh my gosh, we made sigils. How do you feel? This is your first sigil you ever made.
like my second sigil.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, so then what do you think of the 2 methods? As someone who's never
But I
looked
really
into sigils?
I could see myself doing like the first sigil way, like while
It's
I'm
easy.
bored
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
like doodling and like whatever. Like I like that way. The second way, I was like, this seems hard, but then once I kind of started thinking about it,
fun.
it was kind of fun. Yeah.
They felt really different doing them. I think that, I mean, I don't know. I almost want to say more thought went into the second method, but I mean, also a lot of thought went into the first method because you have to arrange these things in a way that like makes you think looks like a sigil. But then the second one, you're kind of free of that thought. It's like it feels a little bit more focused in intention because every single mark has a meaning. Whereas like, I mean, I guess it's not to say that the first one, it doesn't, because every single mark does have a meaning, but it's not like you are saying like, oh, healthy equals circles and arrows,
Right.
Right. It's like, oh, this means this letter, which means this phrase. I don't know. It's very different. I guess maybe it's a left side of the brain, right side of the brain thing.
Yeah, I like them both.
Yeah, they're just different. I think for different things, different methods, But yeah, you feel free to use our sigils.
Yeah.
To bring you health, wealth, and success.
Okay.
I definitely want to put these up and like maybe, I don't know, do we burn these? Should we burn these?
Ooh, yeah, let's burn them. Okay.
Okay, let me go get a pan so we don't set my apartment on fire.
Okay.
We can burn them.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna burn them. Okay, and then we're putting them out into the universe, guys. Okay, we're sending health, wealth, and success to all of you right now. We're burning paper inside my apartment.
Fun. I'm such a little pyro. Oh shit.
Yeah, drop it in there. We are healthy, wealthy, and successful. It's in our
Sturdy, flirty, and thriving.
Just imagine it like just shooting off out to our viewers, right into your ear holes and into your lives.
And that's that. That's
oh my gosh, yours is so burnt. Okay, we'll do mine. We are healthy, wealthy, and successful. Dude, I think you would love to be like, we like burn stuff for the dead in Chinese culture.
Ooh,
you would love that.
I love to
and like
burn
you
stuff.
you would buy like paper versions of things. So you'd buy like a whole paper like house and you would burn it.
Oh my god.
Or like servants, like a paper servant. Burn it.
I would
send it
love
to
that.
them. Like my grandpa, we've like sent him like private jets, like a driver in a car, house, multiple houses.
Cool.
Mine's burning very differently than yours.
It is. It's burning very slow. Mine burned very fast.
Yeah, yours was super fast.
Yeah, it just went up in flames.
We're healthy, wealthy, and successful. From us at Wine and Divination to you, our viewers. We wish you the best. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this. Wait, while it's going.
The ash.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, while it's burning. Action shots.
It is.
Mine seemed to be more fragrant than yours.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Interesting. Cool.
Oh my gosh. So we've sent this off to you, our dear viewers. This has been a very fun episode of Witchy and Whining about it.
Yeah.
This is, you're listening to Wine and Divination. We're your hosts. I'm Christy.
And I'm Devin. Oh, if this was the sigil left, I would.
Oh my god, yeah. There's like a piece that didn't burn from mine or yours?
Mine.
Oh my gosh, do you want to finish burning it? I feel like
I would, if there was the sigil still on this one piece,
that would be
just
wild.
Die.
Yeah. That would be a bad omen, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too.
Guys, we're making sure this whole thing is burnt.
Burnt to the ground. Okay, burn, baby.
Maybe it doesn't have good airflow. It's a stubborn piece of paper. Anyway, we'll make sure that this is burnt so that the full effect can come to you. You know what we should try, since you love to burn things?
What?
Is there's like a thing called like a burning ritual.
Ooh.
Where you kind of list off things that you're like done with in your life that you want to release. It's another release retain thing. So it's like aspects of yourself or your life that you want to invite into your life, and then things that you want to like make a nice exit out of your life.
Cool.
And I tried that once and it was like really great, actually.
Okay.
But then I actually accidentally I burnt it in this like this old candle, like ceramic candle thing, like pot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like broke the pot. The pot exploded. So like I let it like burn out by itself. I went inside. I heard a little explosion. And then it turned out the pot got so hot that it exploded. And then it burned a hole through my table.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So I was like, wow, that was some really powerful shit, I guess.
Yes,
but nothing
seriously.
burnt, nothing bad happened besides I lost the table and the pot. But like, it was crazy. Anyway, future episode. Burning ritual.
Burning rituals.
Again, this is Witchy and Wine About It.
Yes, I'm Devin.
I'm Christy.
And rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes, go to wineanddivination.com for all our socials. Mm-hmm. We have a Discord. Join our coven. We would love to have you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a link on our website. Our Instagram is wine.divination. Twitter is winexdivination. And use our sigils. If you use our sigil and you like try to draw it or recreate it, tag us.
Yeah,
on
let
Instagram.
us see it.
We would love to see what you guys do.
Yeah.
And if anything has worked for you guys, we wish you all health, wealth, and success.
Yes.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Rate, review, subscribe. Okay. Bye.